That?
Do you have remarks?
We have a letter being released to sent to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to secure the safety of our people. What we've all seen at the wharf is, or at the pound rather, is very concerning for all of our people. You know, the safety, and it's come to the point where it's a matter of, do our lives matter? You know what I mean? Where we only have a very limited number of people there, and with that, we're taking it upon ourselves as a community. We have hired some lawyers that we're going to pursue legal action against any individuals, any entities, any companies, any corporations, or groups of fishermen that will that are interfering with our right to fish.
Chief, you were involved in a pushing, shoving event yesterday afternoon. Do you have any intention of pursuing charges in that matter, or do you have a comment on it?
Yeah, yesterday tensions were high at the New Edinburgh lobster pound there, and I was pushed a couple of times, and a little bit of an altercation. I did not see it coming, and it wasn't the way we went about stuff, so I have hired a lawyer last night, and I will be pursuing charges.
Chief, do you have a comment on the events of this week and what you think the significance is of them?
My belief is that everything could have been a lot safer if the DFO acted in the first place, and some of those commercial fishermen were held accountable and charged for their actions. They're all walking around believing that they can do whatever they want and get away with it and take the law into their own hands. And I'm starting to believe that's true. You know, we have RCMP telling us that a lot of members are coming. A fraction of them are showing up. We're not sure who to believe, who to call on. So our last resort is to reach out to Trudeau, hoping that he can assist us and to ensure the safety of our members.
Chief, you've responded to a news release that was issued by one of the Sipekne'katik who is intending to sell what she calls treaty lobster from the ban tomorrow at the Nova Scotia legislature. You've said that the chief and the council do not support this. Why do you not support it?
That's nothing personal against Cheryl or what she is trying to do. As a council, it wasn't approved through a duly convened council meeting for that support, and that's a process. Things need to go in our community. So it's all just a matter of process, and we had one process set out to buy as a community, and until that changes through a duly convened council meeting, we have to stick through that.
In your release, you referred to it, though, as possibly interfering with the negotiations with the federal government on the moderate livelihood fishery that you have set up here. What the release didn't make clear to me was, how does that interfere, how the sale of the lobster at Provincetown interfere with the negotiations that are happening with the Department of Fisheries and Oceans over its moderate livelihood fishery?
There was a release that went out a couple of weeks back that they were going to sell lobster at Province House, and government came back to us saying, like, they backed away from the table on us with our discussions. We weren't negotiating, we were discussing all of our options, and that halted our conversations at the time, and we notified the people involved. They backed away, and it's for our community, so we're moving forward as a community with the community as a whole in perspective.
Chief, I don't want to pursue it too much, but I'm not still quite clear what it is about that action that would upset the federal government or would somehow derail those talks. What is it about the action of selling the lobster there that it impedes that negotiation?
As a community, we have a plan set forward, and we're executing that plan. This is outside of our plan, so that's where we're afraid that it could interfere. She has a right as an individual to go do that, and I wish her the best of luck. She's a friend. That's the way it's going to be for now.
I understand the lobster was caught by Robert Silverboy, the member whose boat was burned in Comoville earlier this month, and that the proceeds would be going to help him. Is that your understanding as well?
No, are we done with this topic though? Are we done altogether?
Just the last question.
Yeah, I guess we're done. I'm not sure of that. I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Just to come back. I have a question, Chief. Some of the opponents of the Mi'kmaq lobster fishery are posting online that some of the catch is too small, that some of it is egg-bearing females. What's your response to that? They're putting up photos saying that this is happening.
Yeah, so I have a good friend of mine that is a commercial fisherman and has been keeping me up to date of what's going on. and he has sent me pictures and showed me information, and those are the commercial fishermen that hauled our gear. They took anything, took it to the pound. The commercial fishermen brought in undersized lobsters. They brought in lobsters with seeds, and they're trying to blame it on us in hopes to shut down our fishery.
How do you resolve that kind of up and down? You know, how do you address this long term?
Some of the commercial fishermen are very good to talk to. I've had a lot of conversations with them. We're willing to talk with them. Potentially we might meet later in the week, but there's some bad apples everywhere. Some people are just pushing for fights.
You had a conversation yesterday with Joel Camo.
Yeah, I did.
How did that come about and how did that go?
So it turned out to have a conversation between the two of us, and it was a good conversation. We went down to the road a bit, and we discussed how to move forward to help everybody understand what we're trying to do here. And we came back and we tried to address the crowd and help them understand, but there's some that just want to keep pushing the envelope and causing trouble.
Chief, in terms of the legal measures you may take, are you speaking primarily of like lawsuits, civil actions, if somebody damages your people's gear or person? Can you just explain it a little bit more, what you mean?
Those lawsuits, we're working through the details. In my mind, the federal government's should be held accountable. The RCMP, DFO, Coast Guard, all of those commercial fishermen that are at the wharf threatening our people, pushing our women around. Anyone that's supporting the industry here in the area, our people can't buy bait, they can't get boats worked on. We'll go after everyone.
But this is I suppose a warning, you're not doing it yet.
We're in the process of getting it going now.
But you haven't done it to anybody yet.
It's being worked on, I guess, yeah. So papers have not been filed, but it's in the process.
And that's separate, Chief, from the matter of you and the scuffle yesterday.
Yeah, that's separate.
I have a question, Chief. Yesterday, Minister Bennett, Jordan, and Trudeau condemned the violence of the night before at the 2 pounds, and they're asking for peace while this protest continues. Yet last night at the pound, there was still commercial fishermen protesting. They blocked both ends of the road, one end of the road. And there was RCMP there, but this still happened even after, the Prime Minister actually asked for them to stop. What is your response, and what do they need to do to stop this? I mean, it's been a month since the fishery's been launched, and it's you're practicing your constitutional treaty rights, literally. As the Supreme Court of Canada ruled, and the 1700s treaty rights.
Yeah, so the Prime Minister, any minister, whoever could put a tweet out or Facebook message, whatever it may be, action speaks louder than words. They're sitting in their office, safe as can be, saying, we need safety out here. Send enforcement down. Like, do your job. Protect Canadians. We're all Canadians. Come here, protect us, and don't just tweet about it.
What's your reaction to when the commercial fishermen attacked the 2 lobster pounds, and there's video of RCMP people, just officers standing there, literally while people are going inside the pound, taking out the lobster. Is that considered theft? And the officers are just actually literally standing there.
I was told that the officers are the ones that actually kicked the door in at the Pubnico lobster pound. So whatever's going on is so wrong on all levels. And for any level of government to do that, I know yesterday I had a lot of conversation with the RCMP. I woke up today with zero respect for them. They're not here to protect our people. The ones come to the wharf to put in a shift, then they're going back home.
Do you think what you just said is enforces the systemic racism in the RCMP that Commissioner Luckey admitted last spring Is this a form of what's happening here?
This truly is systemic racism. If it was 300 of our people and 40 of theirs, that place would be full of cops. You know, so it leads me to believe, does Trudeau care about our people? Does he care about reconciliation? They talk about it, but I don't see any actions towards it.
You could be a little bit more specific about what you're seeking from the RCMP in terms of protection. Is it numbers, blockade from who's entering?
Every time something unfolds with violence, the RCMP, DFO, all they say is it's not safe for our people to interfere. Well, how do you think our people feel? If there's nobody there to protect them, you know, my understanding is that get enough people together, you can do what you want.
What would you make of the argument that if you ignite a crowd of 200, things could get even worse by placing an arrest or two here or there?
I'm pretty sure the RCMP has enough in the budget to send enough officers down to take care of the area. When 400 people show up at a site, it didn't just happen. They weren't all driving by. This has been planned. The RCMP dropped the ball, and now hopefully Trudeau steps up and covers for them.
Chief, I haven't given you a chance to respond to what the RCMP said in Nova Scotia yesterday, which was we were keeping the peace. That at the end of the day, we kept both sides separated and nobody really got hurt. That seems to be the message that they were sending yesterday. What's your response to that?
The RCMP led me to believe that there's more officers coming to allow our people to get out of the area. They drug it out all day, so I kept my people back and from engaging. The RCMP, they're useless.
What does it tell you that community members are actually providing security to Mi'kmaq boats and to the pounds for Mi'kmaq bringing lobster? That it has come down to literally community members.
Our people will get through this. We'll look out for each other. We'll be there to protect each other when the levels of government that are supposed to do not. So we have to take it into our own hands. We will. Like we have, every day I'm getting messages, should we come? The warriors come out of this province, that province. I'm holding them off to keep everything peaceful. But if there's no protection for us, we're going to have to go with the forces we need to.
And what does this tell you that you have to do this to literally protect your constitutional rights and treaty rights?
It just goes to show where they position themselves that there's no true nation to nation. They preach about it, but it's never there. It's all about what's best for who's in at the time or whatever, right? It's unbelievable. We shouldn't even be here having to have this discussion. It should have happened 21 years ago. The rights be respected, people be fishing, everybody be getting along.
What's your comment or your response to the commercial fishermen talking about the lobster stocks?
So we sent a letter off to DFO, and I just had a meeting with them today as well to do a joint science study on the industry and our fishery. So for commercially, I think if there's that much of a concern, put a quota on it. No need to catch 100,000 pounds per boat.
How many boats do you have working and licensed now, and what are your plans going forward for this season?
For our livelihood, we have 10, 11. I believe we have 10 licenses issued. As of right now, half of them are fishing. You know, the other ones are, whatever happened to them, they're unable to fish at this time due to, loss of gear, revenue. They're just, the boats are too small for the rougher weathers that are coming in. So the ones that are able to keep fishing, we're here to support them, and we'll keep fishing right on through.
And without a market, I mean, without these processors and facilities, do you have anywhere to sell?
Yeah, we've actually had a lot of First Nations reach out to us from across Canada. So we have a market.
Licenses in 35, sorry. Chief, do you have any licenses in Area 35 which opened up earlier this week that you're actively commercially fishing today?
Yeah, we have 3 communal commercial licenses that our community has, and they're right here at a Digby.
The pound in Edinburgh, who owns that, and is there a consideration to actually purchase it and run your own pound?
Yeah, so I'm not sure whose name it would be in, their company as somewhat, but we've met with the individuals and negotiated, and we passed a motion through council to acquire that lobster facility, and just in a matter of doing paperwork.
So you're going to buy it?
Yeah.
What does it cost roughly?
Still trying to figure that out. It's a lot of lobster.
When do you expect to take ownership?
We're hoping in the next couple of weeks, right away.
And does it have Chief, does it have a provincial buyer's license attached to it?
Yes, it does. Yeah. But our concern is the amount of damage that it took the other day with the hate crime that went on. So we're trying to figure out that and what extent that is.
What can you say about that so far, having looked around it a bit?
I haven't personally looked at the pound myself after the damages, but the most part was the refrigeration units and stuff, where the circulation of water, and it's the expensive parts that are going to cost the money to replace.
So it sounds like with the legal actions, with your purchases, with everything you're doing, there's the vigilante activity is, if anything, it's slowing you down, but it's not stopping you.
No, it won't stop us. No matter what they do, they will not stop us. Slowing us down, but
What kind of image do you think this gives to the rest of the country, that this whole process in the last month that you've had to do, you said there's no nation-to-nation building or reconciliation. Do you think this is a step back for the rest of the country with their treatment of Indigenous people, Mi'kmaq people, but it sends a message out to everywhere else, because there's with Sowetan, there's places across the country, and right now it's here.
Indigenous people across the country, they all know how bad we're treated. So hopefully the rest of Canada will see it, and at some point we'll be treated as a nation to nation with respect. The treaties have been established. The government pulls back on them. We're here fighting for something that's already ours, which is very unfortunate.
Logistics, but are you going to go to court or anything like that? Do you have any papers to file
For
the legal matters? The court is just, you're not going to this court to do anything.
not today, no. It's all being drawn up today.
Do you expect to file suits later this week, next week? Can you give us
We have a team working on those right now. So as soon as they're ready, they're going out right away. It's this fishing here for us is our main priority, and then all our focus is here.
And I take it the RCMP, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans, are the federal agencies that would be named in that suit? Is that what you're envisioning? Is that what you think?
Well, that's for our team of lawyers to discuss and to figure out what's our best approach. But my concern is to hold everyone accountable for interfering or infringing on our right. So whoever's in that line, they will be served papers.
I'd like to ask, last week or so, an announcement came out that you withdrew from the Nova Scotia Assembly. Would you like to comment about that?
Yeah, we just have a different view of how we want to go with our future. Our band is very rights oriented, and we're heading down a road that we don't agree with where they're heading.
In terms of the, sorry to come back to the legal thing, but so some of them would be like cease and desist, but others would be a petition to do something. You have both stop doing things and start doing things.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I'm not sure what the legal words are for that.
No, you got me there too.
Stuart?
I have